Breaking news tonight has stunned fans of Little People, Big World across the nation. Caryn Chandler, longtime partner of Matt Roloff, has been arrested. Reports are still coming in regarding the charges, but sources suggest they are related to financial misconduct and unauthorized property dealings. Equally shocking, Matt Roloff and Caryn Chandler are now officially separated. What had once been a highly publicized and seemingly stable partnership has dissolved amid controversy and legal complications. The couple, who had been planning their future together, are now facing not only the personal fallout of their separation but also public scrutiny and widespread media attention. For years, Caryn Chandler stood at the center of the Roloff family's public life. She was Matt's partner, manager of the farm's operations, and a familiar face in television appearances and family events. Their relationship was highlighted as a source of stability and happiness for Matt following his divorce from Amy Roloff, a union that had lasted nearly 3 decades. But today, the picture of domestic bliss has crumbled. The arrest, combined with the separation, marks the most dramatic turn in the Roloff family story since the launch of their reality television show nearly 2 decades ago. To understand the full weight of this shocking development, we must revisit the Roloff family's journey, a story of triumph, struggle, and enduring public fascination. The Roloffs became household names when TLC premiered Little People, Big World in 2006. Matt and Amy Roloff, along with their 4 children, Jeremy, Zach, Molly, and Jacob, invited viewers into their lives on the family farm in Helvetia, Oregon. The show chronicled their daily lives, from farming challenges to personal milestones, and offered a unique perspective on living with dwarfism. The farm itself became almost a character in its own right. Spanning over 30 acres, Roloff Farms grew into a destination for visitors, featuring pumpkin patches, mazes, and seasonal attractions that drew thousands of guests annually. The family's struggles and successes on this land captivated audiences, who followed the children growing up, leaving for college, and starting families of their own. Yet behind the cameras, tension simmered. While the public saw a family filled with love and determination, cracks in the household began to emerge. Matt and Amy's marriage, though enduring for decades, ultimately could not withstand the pressures of family, business, and personal differences. By 2015, the couple finalized their divorce. The split was amicable in parts but painful in others, particularly regarding the farm's management and future. Matt retained ownership and control of most operations, while Amy continued to reside nearby and maintain a role in the family dynamic. It was during this period of transition that Caryn Chandler entered Matt's life, not merely as a family acquaintance or farm manager, but as a partner. Caryn's presence initially raised eyebrows among fans and family members alike. Critics questioned whether her relationship with Matt began too soon after the divorce. Others claimed she wielded undue influence over Matt's decisions regarding the farm and family matters. Nevertheless, Matt and Caryn's relationship grew in the public eye. They traveled together, appeared on the show, and shared glimpses of their life as a couple. Discussions of marriage and a shared future made headlines, and for a time, the pair seemed inseparable. But the calm exterior concealed mounting tensions. The farm, long a source of pride and joy, became a point of contention. Zach Roloff, Matt's son, expressed interest in purchasing part of the property. Negotiations faltered, resulting in estrangement between Zach, his wife Tori, and Matt. Family members publicly criticized Matt's decisions, with many pointing to Caryn Chandler's influence as a divisive factor. Social media erupted with speculation. Fans debated whether Caryn was acting in her own interests or simply supporting Matt's vision. Comments ranged from sympathy for Matt to outright condemnation of Caryn. Online forums dissected every appearance, interview, and post, attempting to piece together the reality behind the cameras. Meanwhile, Matt and Caryn's public image remained polished. They continued filming, attending family events, and presenting themselves as a united front. However, behind closed doors, tensions were growing, fueled by property disputes, family disagreements, and conflicting visions for the farm's future. Then came the breaking point: Caryn Chandler was arrested. The charges, though still being investigated, reportedly involve financial mismanagement tied to property transactions associated with Roloff Farms. The timing could not have been worse, as the couple's personal relationship had already been strained to the breaking point. Matt Roloff confirmed in a brief statement that he and Caryn were no longer together. "This is a difficult time for everyone involved," he said. "We are focusing on family and the well-being of the children." Caryn's representatives have not commented publicly, citing legal restrictions. Fans reacted with shock and disbelief. Online communities that had followed the Roloffs for years erupted in speculation, offering theories, support, and criticism in equal measure. The arrest and separation mark the most dramatic chapter yet in a story that has captivated audiences for nearly 20 years. To fully understand how this moment came to pass, we must trace the history of the Roloff family, their rise to fame, the challenges of running a family farm, and the personal relationships that have shaped their lives. Matt Roloff, born in 1961, grew up facing the challenges of dwarfism in a world not built for those of shorter stature. His determination and work ethic defined his early life, leading him to pursue farming, entrepreneurship, and eventually television fame. Amy Roloff, also living with dwarfism, brought her own strengths and vision to the family. Together, they built a home, a business, and a family that would capture the hearts of millions. The children, Jeremy, Zach, Molly, and Jacob, each navigated their own paths, balancing personal growth with the expectations and scrutiny that come with being part of a televised family. The farm itself became both a symbol of success and a source of tension, as property disputes, succession planning, and public exposure complicated relationships. After Matt and Amy's divorce, the entrance of Caryn Chandler added a new dynamic. What began as a partnership grounded in shared work responsibilities evolved into a romantic relationship. Caryn's influence on the family, the farm, and Matt's personal life became a focal point of attention. While some celebrated the union, others expressed concern about her role in dividing the family and influencing financial decisions. For years, Caryn and Matt presented themselves as a stable couple. They traveled, planned events, and even discussed marriage. But beneath the surface, disagreements over property, family involvement, and management responsibilities were growing. The culmination of these pressures, both personal and legal, led to Caryn Chandler's arrest and the official separation from Matt Roloff, shocking fans and family alike. As we continue this report, we will examine the full trajectory of the Roloff family, the farm disputes, the relationship tensions, the sale of property, and the aftermath of the arrest. We will explore how this story affects not only Matt and Caryn, but the children, extended family, and the millions of viewers who have followed them for nearly 2 decades. This is a story of resilience, betrayal, and the fragility of public life. And tonight, we bring you every detail, every twist, and every revelation. The property, part of the historic Roloff Farms estate, was central to family plans and dreams. For years, it had been seen as a cornerstone of the Roloff legacy, a place where generations of children had played, where the family had celebrated milestones, and where the television cameras had captured countless moments of joy and struggle. Now, that legacy is in jeopardy. Caryn's decision to sell the house appears to have been made unilaterally, without consultation with Matt or the children. While legal details remain murky, insiders suggest that the sale has intensified tensions between Matt, his children, and Caryn, and has led to public speculation that the Roloff family, as fans knew it, may never fully recover. The house sale comes at a time of heightened scrutiny. Fans of Little People, Big World have watched the family navigate both personal and professional challenges for nearly 20 years. The farm itself was more than a property, it was a symbol of family unity, a backdrop for television narratives, and a tangible connection to the Roloff heritage. Now, questions abound: who benefits from the sale? What happens to Matt's plans for the farm? And how do the children, particularly Zach and Jeremy, who have long sought involvement in farm operations, respond to this move? The children's reactions have been mixed but revealing. Zach Roloff, who has historically been vocal on social media, expressed his disappointment in a recent post, stating that decisions regarding family property should be made with transparency and respect for all involved. Family means everything, Zach wrote, but trust and communication are equally important. Jeremy Roloff, meanwhile, has remained relatively quiet publicly but has been seen in private meetings with Matt discussing the future of the farm. Molly and Jacob, the youngest siblings, are reportedly distressed by the growing public attention and the perceived instability within the family. Friends and former colleagues of Caryn Chandler have suggested that the decision to sell the house may have been influenced by financial pressures. While details remain unclear, some speculate that legal fees related to her arrest and other personal expenses may have prompted the decision. Regardless of motivation, the sale has sparked an intense public debate. Fans are divided, with some criticizing Caryn for undermining family unity and others sympathizing with her difficult circumstances. Social media platforms, discussion forums, and fan pages are flooded with opinions, analysis, and speculation about what comes next. The timing of the house sale is particularly sensitive. Just months ago, Matt and Caryn were publicly discussing their plans for a shared future, including wedding preparations and new projects on the farm. The sudden arrest and the separation, followed by this major property decision, have upended what many believed was a carefully constructed public image of stability. Experts in family law and property disputes have noted that high-profile families like the Roloffs often face challenges in maintaining privacy and unity. When disputes become public, as they have in this case, the consequences can be far-reaching, affecting both financial and emotional well-being. Social media erupted following news of Caryn Chandler's arrest and the property sale. Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram were flooded with commentary. Fans debated the motivations, speculated on the family's next steps, and shared memories of the Roloff family from earlier seasons of Little People, Big World. Some commentators criticized Caryn's actions, suggesting that the house sale represented a betrayal of trust. The farm was the heart of the family, one fan wrote. How could she make this decision alone? Others expressed sympathy, emphasizing that Caryn herself faces legal challenges and personal pressures. We don't know the full story, another post read. It's a difficult situation for everyone. Media outlets picked up the story rapidly. Headlines ranged from Caryn Chandler arrested, Roloff family in crisis, to Matt and Caryn separated amid property controversy. Analysts noted that this was the most significant scandal involving the Roloffs since the show began airing nearly 2 decades ago. The fallout is not confined to the internet. Industry insiders suggest that TLC executives are monitoring the situation closely. The network, which has broadcast Roloff family events for years, faces challenges in handling programming, promotional materials, and public relations amid this unexpected controversy. There is also concern regarding future filming. While Matt has continued to engage with media in controlled interviews, Caryn's arrest raises legal and logistical questions. Will she appear in upcoming episodes? Will the family choose to continue documenting life on the farm? Or has the scandal created an insurmountable divide? Legal experts emphasize that Caryn Chandler's arrest could have significant consequences beyond personal matters. Property sales, particularly involving family-owned farms with multiple stakeholders, often require meticulous documentation and adherence to contractual obligations. If the sale proceeds without full consent or in violation of agreements, Matt or other family members could contest the transaction in court. Such disputes could further strain relationships, delay financial transactions, and prolong public scrutiny. Financially, the sale represents both opportunity and risk. While the property could bring substantial revenue, the public backlash and legal entanglements may offset potential gains. For fans and analysts alike, the transaction serves as both a symptom and a catalyst of the larger family crisis. Meanwhile, Matt Roloff faces a dual challenge: navigating the legal ramifications of Caryn's actions and managing the emotional impact of their separation. Longtime friends describe him as focused but deeply affected by the events. Matt has always been resilient, one source said. But this is testing him in ways the cameras have never shown. For the children, the situation is equally challenging. Zach and Jeremy must reconcile their involvement in the farm with personal grievances. Molly and Jacob are coping with the public attention and the dissolution of a relationship that, until recently, had seemed stable. While legal and financial details dominate headlines, the human element of the Roloff family crisis cannot be overlooked. The children, the extended family, and even loyal fans are experiencing a profound sense of disruption. Psychologists specializing in high-profile family dynamics note that separation, public scandal, and property disputes can generate long-term emotional strain. Adolescents and young adults within such families may struggle with trust, identity, and stability. In the Roloff case, these factors are compounded by public exposure and ongoing media attention. For Caryn Chandler herself, the experience is equally complex. Arrested, separated, and facing public judgment, she occupies a precarious position. Supporters urge caution in public commentary, noting that the legal process has yet to conclude and that the narrative presented in headlines may be incomplete or biased. The combination of arrest, separation, and property sale has created a perfect storm. Fans have speculated about the motivations, alliances, and potential outcomes, while family members navigate both public scrutiny and private emotional turmoil. As this story develops, questions remain: how will Matt respond to the property sale? What role will the children play in future farm decisions? Can Caryn recover from the legal and personal setbacks? And how will this controversy affect the legacy of a family that has been part of the American consciousness for nearly 2 decades? The arrest of Caryn Chandler has sent shockwaves through the Roloff family and captivated the attention of fans nationwide. Details surrounding her arrest remain under investigation, but early reports indicate that the charges involve alleged financial misconduct related to Roloff Farms and personal property transactions. Law enforcement sources confirm that Caryn was taken into custody following a series of complaints and ongoing inquiries. While the full legal implications remain unclear, the event represents the most publicized and severe challenge the Roloff family has faced in nearly 20 years. According to law enforcement insiders, Caryn Chandler's arrest was preceded by several investigative steps. Authorities reportedly examined property records, financial statements, and correspondence linked to the sale of the Roloff family house. The investigation initially began as a routine inquiry into potential irregularities in property sales but escalated when evidence suggested unauthorized transactions and potential mismanagement. Caryn's role as both Matt Roloff's partner and a manager for certain farm operations placed her under intense scrutiny. On the morning of her arrest, law enforcement officials executed a series of procedures to secure necessary documents and ensure compliance with legal mandates. Caryn was taken into custody without incident, though the news spread quickly across social media, leaving the Roloff family and fans in shock. While Caryn's legal team has not disclosed detailed statements, sources indicate that they are preparing to contest the allegations. Legal experts emphasize that arrests are not convictions and that the outcome of the investigation will depend on evidence, witness statements, and procedural compliance. Still, the arrest has immediate consequences. Beyond the personal impact on Caryn and Matt, it has intensified scrutiny of the Roloff family's internal dynamics, the management of Roloff Farms, and the sale of associated properties. The media response to Caryn Chandler's arrest was swift and relentless. News outlets, both national and local, reported on the breaking story within hours of the event. Headlines varied from factual accounts to sensationalized interpretations. Some outlets focused on the legal aspects: Caryn Chandler arrested amid property investigation and Roloff Farms partner faces charges in sudden legal twist. Others highlighted the personal implications: Matt and Caryn separated, Roloff family shocked by arrest and breaking, Caryn Chandler's arrest rocks TLC family. Social media amplified the story, as fans shared updates, speculated about motives, and debated the consequences for the family. Hashtags referencing the Roloff family trended across multiple platforms, demonstrating the widespread interest in both the legal and personal aspects of the crisis. News programs dedicated segments to the unfolding story, interviewing legal experts, family dynamics specialists, and longtime followers of Little People, Big World. Analysts noted that high-profile families often face compounded challenges when private disputes become public scandals. The Roloffs, whose lives have been broadcast for nearly 2 decades, were now navigating a crisis in full view of a global audience. Inside the Roloff family, the arrest and separation have exacerbated existing tensions. Matt Roloff, while maintaining a public stance of composure, has reportedly been deeply affected by the events. Close friends describe him as focused on maintaining stability for his children, even as he confronts the emotional impact of losing a long-term partner. The children, particularly Zach and Jeremy, have expressed concern and frustration. Zach, who had long sought involvement in farm operations and property decisions, was reportedly dismayed by Caryn's unilateral decisions, including the house sale. Jeremy, meanwhile, has been engaged in private discussions with Matt, attempting to navigate the family business while addressing personal grievances stemming from past disputes. Molly and Jacob, the youngest siblings, are reportedly struggling with the public nature of the crisis. Friends and former colleagues have noted that the children are experiencing heightened stress and anxiety, not only from family disagreements but also from intense media attention and fan commentary. Insiders suggest that communication among family members has been strained. Meetings that once focused on farm operations or public appearances have shifted to discussions of legal obligations, property rights, and personal boundaries. The Roloff family, which has historically prided itself on transparency and teamwork, is now navigating a landscape defined by conflict, suspicion, and public scrutiny. At the center of this storm is Caryn Chandler. While legal experts caution that all individuals are entitled to due process, her arrest has already altered public perception and impacted family relationships. Friends describe her as isolated and cautious, relying on her legal counsel while managing the fallout from both personal and professional upheaval. The Roloff children have each processed the events differently. Zach, active on social media, has been both vocal and measured, attempting to express his concern for family unity while acknowledging the legal realities. He has emphasized that trust and transparency are essential in any family and has subtly criticized actions that undermine communication. Jeremy has taken a quieter approach, focusing on private discussions with Matt and key advisors. Sources indicate that he is primarily concerned with protecting the family legacy and ensuring that farm operations remain stable. Molly and Jacob, younger and less publicly vocal, are reportedly absorbing the stress in a more private manner. Friends and associates have noted that the intense media attention has created additional challenges for them, including managing online commentary, fan speculation, and potential legal implications related to family property. Psychologists specializing in high-profile family dynamics emphasize that children in situations like the Roloffs can experience prolonged stress, emotional conflict, and identity challenges. The combination of public scrutiny, parental separation, and legal proceedings is particularly intense when family history and legacy are intertwined with fame and business interests. Experts suggest that careful mediation, clear communication, and emotional support are essential to navigating such crises. Without these interventions, tensions can escalate, resulting in long-term familial discord and reputational damage. Fans of Little People, Big World have closely followed the developments, sharing opinions, theories, and concerns across social media. Online forums are filled with speculation about motivations, alliances, and possible outcomes. Some fans argue that Caryn's arrest and the property sale reflect a betrayal of family trust. Others emphasize that the situation is complex, noting that legal circumstances and personal pressures may have influenced her decisions. Media analysts highlight that the public's perception of the Roloff family will likely evolve as more information becomes available. In high-profile families, every action is scrutinized, and reputations are shaped not only by legal outcomes but also by the narratives constructed in news coverage and social media discussion. As the legal proceedings unfold, questions continue to mount. How will Caryn Chandler respond? What legal challenges will she face regarding property transactions and alleged misconduct? How will Matt and the children navigate the complexities of family legacy, public image, and ongoing media attention? Observers note that the Roloff family's resilience will be tested in unprecedented ways. Their story, once celebrated as a model of determination and family unity, now faces an uncertain and highly public future. The decision has sent shockwaves through the Roloff family and ignited widespread speculation among fans and media outlets. Many have questioned the legality and ethics of the sale, while others debate its implications for the family legacy. Caryn Chandler's actions have sparked controversy for several reasons. The property in question was not merely a residence, it was a symbol of the Roloff family's history, a central location for little people, big world, and an integral component of the farm operations. Sources indicate that Caryn's sale process included negotiations with outside buyers, financial transfers, and contractual agreements that were executed without the knowledge or consent of other key family members. Legal experts note that such actions can trigger complex disputes over ownership rights, inheritance, and contractual obligations. The timing of the sale, coming shortly after Caryn's arrest and separation from Matt, has fueled speculation that the decision may have been influenced by legal and financial pressures. Observers suggest that Caryn may have sought to liquidate assets quickly to cover personal expenses, legal fees, or other obligations. For Matt Roloff, the sale represents both a personal and professional challenge. Friends and sources close to him describe his reaction as a mixture of shock, disappointment, and determination. Matt has reportedly begun reviewing the transaction with legal advisors to explore potential remedies, including contesting the sale or renegotiating terms. While Matt remains publicly composed, those close to him emphasize that the emotional impact is significant. The sale of property without his consent undermines years of careful planning, affects ongoing business operations, and complicates relationships with his children, particularly Zach and Jeremy, who had vested interests in farm management and legacy planning. The house sale has intensified existing family tensions. Zach Roloff, long a vocal advocate for transparency and fair negotiation, has expressed frustration over Caryn's unilateral decisions. According to insiders, Zach views the sale as a betrayal of trust and a disruption of family cohesion. Jeremy Roloff, while maintaining a more neutral stance publicly, has engaged in private discussions with Matt to assess legal options and evaluate the implications for farm operations. Molly and Jacob, younger siblings, have reportedly been distressed by the public scrutiny and the growing rift between family members. The family dynamic, once characterized by collaboration and mutual support, is now defined by conflict, mistrust, and competing priorities. Legal experts note that such disputes are not uncommon in high-profile families with shared property interests, particularly when one party takes unilateral action.